Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back to our class. Today, we're going to be reviewing something that we already learned in class. If you look at my background, you may take a guess. Yes, you're right. We're going to be checking some of the 2D shapes. So let's see which ones are we studying today. Today, we're going to be learning the standard 3-6A, which is classify and sort two-dimensional figures based on attributes using geometric vocabulary. Specifically, we're going to be learning about the quadrilaterals. So these shapes are quadrilaterals. What is a quadrilateral? Well, if you remember well, a quadrilateral is a shape with 4 straight sides. So if you notice, all these shapes have 4 straight sides. That's why they're called quadrilaterals. So this trapezoid is a polygon. So what's a polygon? A polygon is a closed shape with straight sides. So if you notice, all these shapes are closed and have straight sides. That's why they're called polygons. So I can tell that this trapezoid has 4 straight sides, therefore it's a polygon. Let's count the sides. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, let's talk about vertices. If you recall, a vertex is made by 2 lines that share an endpoint. So, if you notice, we have here 2 lines, and they're sharing this endpoint. So, this endpoint is called vertex. So, let's see how many has our trapezoid. That's 1 vertex, 2 vertices, 3 vertices, and 4 vertices. So we can tell that the trapezoid has 4 vertices. Now let's see angles. How many angles has this shape? So what's an angle first? An angle is formed by 2 line segments that share an endpoint. If you notice, it's very similar to the vertex. Now, but the angle is the space between these 2 lines. So this is an angle. So let's find out how many has our trapezoid. A trapezoid has 4 angles. So let's prove it. Here are 2 lines that meet. That's 1 angle, 2 angles, 3 angles, and 4 angles. Now, let's find out the difference with the right angles. So, a right angle forms a square corner. Yes, like a real corner of a square. So look at these 2 segments of lines that meet here in an endpoint. And if you see, I can fit exactly, perfectly a little square here. Another way to prove it in class is using a sheet of paper. A sheet of paper has right angles all around. So if you can fit one of the corners inside the angle, that is showing you that you have a right angle there. So let's find out how many has this trapezoid. That is 1. And I can prove it because I can fit perfectly well the paper in the corner. That's angle number 2, and that's a right angle too because I can fit the corner of the paper perfectly in that angle. Let's see angle number 3. If I try to put the paper, you're going to notice that this space is extra. So it doesn't fit perfectly. It's bigger than the corner of the paper. So that's not a right angle. Let's look for the last angle. If I try to fit the page, you can see that the angle is smaller because it gets behind the paper. It doesn't fit perfectly. So I can tell you now that the trapezoid has only 2 right angles. But let's talk about now parallel sides. And what's a parallel side? Well, parallel sides are 2 lines that keep the same distance. Like in this case, let's put these 2 lines in the opposite sides of this trapezoid, and let's see that these are not getting closer or farther away. They keep the same distance. So that's one set of parallel lines. Now let's look at the other 2 sides. The other 2 sides that are opposite are not parallel. I can tell that because I notice that here they're getting closer and in the other side they're getting farther apart. If I put a little strip, I can notice how those two lines are not parallel. So the trapezoid, this trapezoid has only one pair of parallel sides, which are the purple lines. Now, how many parallel sides do you see in this trapezoid? So I only see two. Let's see the first one. Are these two? If you notice, they're not getting closer or farther. And in the other trapezoid, those are the parallel lines. So that's one set of parallel lines. And this is the second set of parallel lines. So there are two sets of parallel lines in this trapezoid. Now let's see how many sides measure the same. To measure, try to use a ruler. That's going to make you accurate. So this side, for example, measures 6 centimeters. Let me measure the other side, which is 6 centimeters. So if I look at the other trapezoid, I can see that all the sides have different sizes. So there is no one that measures the same. So this is going to be my answer now. There is only one set of sides that measure the same. Now, how many pairs of parallel sides do you see in these parallelograms? Now, all of these are called parallelograms because the sides are all parallel. Let's look at the sides. In green, I have the first set of parallel lines. So this is one set, two sets, three sets, and four sets. But I noticed that we have more parallel lines. So these orange lines are representing another four sets of parallel lines. So altogether, I'm going to have 8 pairs of parallel sides in these parallelograms. The next question says, how many pairs of sides have the same size? Well, just by looking at them, only these two shapes have sides that all of them are the same size. That's some of the attributes of the square and the rhombus. So let's see. Those are the sets of parallel of sides that measure the same. So there are 4 pairs of sides that have the same size. So you can see the red ones, the purple ones, the blue ones, and the green ones. The next question says, how many pairs of opposite sides are parallel to these rectangles? So this is the first parallel side that we can see in the square. And this is the other set. So the square has 2 parallel sides. And the rectangle has this set of parallel sides. And we add another set of parallel sides. So if you count them all together, it's going to be 4. So there are 4 pairs of opposite sides that are parallel in this rectangle. Another question says, how many pairs of opposite sides are of equal length? Now we know that the square has these sides are the same size and these two. So we know that all the sides in a square are equal in size. Now let's look at this rectangle. The rectangle has 1 pair of sides that are equal in length. These are long sides, but it has 2. Another set of shorter opposite sides that have the same length. So for the rectangle, we can say that the rectangle has 2 pairs of opposite sides that are equal in length. How many right angles are in these rectangles? Now the word rectangle comes from the word that means is straight angles. All right angles. So the square and the rectangle, all of them in all have 8 right angles. So there are 8 right angles in these rectangles. And next we have another question that says, how many pairs of opposite sides are parallel in these rhombuses? Yes, the square is a special rhombus because they have the same size. All the sides are the same size. So let's see. This is showing that we have the purple ones are parallel sides, the red ones are parallel sides, the green ones are parallel sides, and the blue ones are parallel sides. So I know we have 4 pairs of opposite parallel sides in these rhombuses. And at the same time, the sides in the rhombus are and the square are equal in size. Well, this is all for today. See you next time, guys. Thank you for staying with me. And I'm hoping you understand and are able to apply your new learning to your problem. See you next time. Bye.